Good morning, everyone. Welcome to part 4 of the book review called Excelsior. Excelsior, I think that's how you pronounce it. The Amazing Life of Stan Lee. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This is one of my favorite books that I have here in my house. So I'm gonna read you guys a chapter from chapter 9 called From Chaos to Comedy. I've always enjoyed comedy, always liked reading or writing anything comedic. Comedy is my favorite genre, by the way, so this is why this is one of my favorite chapters. I don't know what gave me the idea, but before I knew it, I had decided to write and published a humorous paperback book. Perhaps it was a long, dormant desire on my part to do something on my own, something totally removed from Martin Goodman or his comic books. Having very little spare time, I figured that the easiest type of book to do would be a book of photos with funny captions. I had always gotten a kick out of taking snapshots of my friends and adding unlikely dialogue balloons or irreverent captions. It was relaxing and it was fun, like doing a crossword puzzle, stimulating, but the furthest thing from work. The first and simplest thing I could think of was a book with photos of glamorous girls. The more scantily clad, the better. Every man likes to look at pictures of pretty girls, and if the captions I wrote were funny enough, I hope it would be a perfect package. So I contacted a photo service and bought a whole gaggle of girly pics. Then I spent a few evenings putting words in the mouths of the models with my own capricious captions. I love writing that sort of thing mainly because it can be done so quickly. A sentence or two and one page is finished. Since I was my own publisher and could pick my models, I naturally had Joni pose for the cover. I posed her standing in the street, leaning provocatively against a lamppost, looking like a lady of the evening. The dialogue balloon I added to the photo had her saying to an unseen person next to her, "But you told me to take up a hobby." I titled the book Blushing Blurbs and called my embryonic company Madison Publications because Madison was my favorite New York avenue. When everything was finished, I made a deal with a local book distributor who agreed to take the books on a trial basis. Then I quickly designed the format, sent the pages to a printer I knew, and that was that. I was happy with what I had done and hoped I managed to sell a few copies. The public was extremely cooperative. I had printed 10,000 copies and sold every one in a matter of a few days. The books cost me 50 cents each to produce, and the cover price was $1, so I made 50 cents on each copy, sold for a total profit of $5,000. I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna fast forward a few pages on the same chapter. The most successful humor publication I wrote and edited was also the most tragic. I say this for last because I still find it a little difficult to talk about. In addition to the monster photo mags I did for Atlas, I tackled a similar publication using photos of recognizable celebrities. I gave the series the name You Don't Say, and it was an instant hit. Unlike Monsters to Laugh With and Monster Madness, which were mainly bought by young fans, this one was bought by the same readers who might buy a copy of The New Yorker or any other sophisticated humor publication. The first two issues we did sold out quickly. I was tremendously enthusiastic about it, feeling I'd soon abandon the comics and just stick with You Don't Say because it had the potential to be an important monthly magazine. And I'm gonna read you guys a short part of the beginning of chapter 10 called Our New Mythology. Beginning in 1961 as both editor and writer, Stan worked with artists such as Steve Ditko in creating stories every month for various Atlas Comics titles such as Journey into Mystery, Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish, and Strange Tales. One trademark of their work was Stan's attempt to inject surprise endings, allow Henry plus irony wherever possible. For example, in the tale, I Know the Secret of the Flying Saucer, excuse me, he told the story in the first person as if he were a Martian commanding a swarm of flying saucers invading Earth. When the saucers land, there seem to be no occupants. Only at the end does the reader discover that the Martian invaders are the sentient flying saucers themselves. Stan normally wrote the basic plot for each of those countless little tales and then added the finished dialogue once the stories had been illustrated. These efforts were all part of Stan's struggle to break away from the usual formulaic comic strips, but he was still restless, vaguely dissatisfied. More than ever, he was seriously considering how he could walk away from his job at Atlas. And I'll leave it right there, guys. Once again, the book is called Excelsior, The Amazing Life of Stan Lee. Next week will be part 5, the final part of this book review. And like I said in the previous video, after reviewing this book, I'm no longer gonna chop it down to parts. I'm just gonna do one long video of one book review and do right there, because I just kind of got tired of doing that, of just putting out every week different parts. So I'd rather just put one full summary of a video, and I'm gonna start doing that after I'm done reviewing this one. So stay tuned for next week for part 5 of Stan Lee's book. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this content. Be safe, and may God bless each and every one of you. Have a great Thursday, everyone.